Hey, how's it going, boys? What is up? So I was back once again for yet another Tower of Babel video, I suppose. I originally totally forgot about doing this, to be honest, because I ended up not turning off dank music, so I have like copyright music playing in the background and shit. But yeah, Tower of Babel was out yesterday. Decided to do that shit, so it is quite okay this time around. It's not as easy as last time though for the recent ones. Some are pretty okay because most of them you can kind of do it with like the usual Luca wrestler stuff, and then some of them you can kind of just do them with the typical like how the Earth Lobelia shit kind of stuff. Yeah, you do all that kind of stuff. So a lot of the strats were mostly involving those ones. That or you just use like even like a typical standard. Even like I remember like some of the ones like the wind bosses. You could actually just use the was that full auto setup like from last Guild War and shit. I remember I used that and it was okay. But anyway, this is not really about that because I think a lot of people were a little bit what's that shocked to see a big Giga Chat naked Babu as the last stage. But yeah, the last stage was a little bit annoying, but I think it's not really that bad. But it does kind of see that you should be able to clear it relatively simple when you have what's that, garrison weapons kind of thing. I mean, yeah, if you have that in your grid, it should be pretty simple. I think the most easiest one I've seen yet is like you just literally have lots of Kirins and then you just stack with what's that, Grand Keg or like the likes of Summer Shalim, because apparently the triggers doesn't trigger at all, because Babu or Naked Babu here, he has a trigger where he calls summonless debuff on you at 25% onwards, meaning you cannot cast any summons then. But if you're consistently using a skill from Grand Keg and Summer Shalim, which is their skill tree, where it allows you to not allow him to attack at all, and that's a guaranteed land no matter what. So as long as you keep resetting that shit, he'll never cast that at all. So apparently you can get from 25 to 10% very 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 easy, because his 10%, he's kind of like Babyl, the actual Babyl fight, where you have to get to 10% first before he can unlock the remaining the HP. Like before, you cannot damage him any further until you go through the 10% HP, shit like that. So because the 25 onwards can be very very dangerous in the fight, because that guy Babu has like immediately just adds 3 stacks to himself, so it's very very annoying. And then he also does another 3 stacks at 10% if I recall correctly, and each of his stack does 1 like 11,111 damage per stack. So if he has 2 stacks, he has 22k ish. So he does 3 stacks, and usually by 10% he'll have probably if you actually go through 25, he'll be at 5 stacks already, which is max stacks I think. Or if not, if you go through if you did the whole Grand Keg whatever shit, you get the so-called what's that, you only get that stack at 10%. So it's not as bad, but that is kind of like the cheesy way to do it in my opinion. But I kind of did it a little bit different. I actually went through 25%. I am gonna do like a little, I guess, a commentary-ish, because I have to mute that thing if I really want to show that on YouTube. If you want to see that that clip, I'll probably like I'll show you, I'll give you guys a link to the fight itself on my YouTube VOD or whatever. Yeah, I'm not YouTube VOD, the Pitch VOD. Yeah, you guys can watch it there if you actually want to hear like what's going on. But yeah, because I can't show it on YouTube, I can't really enable sound on YouTube because of the copyright music playing in the background and stuff. because they're all dank music playing in the background the entire time. I didn't really use the BGM for GBF at all. But I guess I'll just show you like what I use for that one though, like for Babu. So I use this 640 Clarice. I think a lot of people may actually have Clarice now because of the recent spark you guys probably did during the Flash banner, right? My guess. I know a lot of you probably already fucking sparked them. So yeah. So Jiki, this is kind of like my main team. I did switch back and forth between this and this. So honestly, my main carry, I would say, is like, yeah, this is like the real DPS dealers. But I would say like my main carry of this setup is actually Summer Tabina. Because Summer Tabina is kind of like my main debuffer. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, Albert is also pretty good because he has a Dark Defend down. So he is actually able to debuff a little bit. Because, you know, if I actually just focus on doing this, it is still somewhat okay. But if if you want to do the... Oh, yes, it's Japanese right now. But, like, if you want to do the second mission, which is you cannot have any allies dead. So, but this one is actually not that bad if you have, like, self-revive, auto-revive kind of stuff. Because it just means that what this objective really means is that as long as none of your party members, like say for example, right, as long as any of these characters, right, are still alive, even though they died once and auto revive, you know, similar like how the Nier's sub passive works, whatever, it brings them back to life right after they die once. As long as they're alive, it's okay. So if you have like Europa or whatever, those stuff, that will still work. Yeah, those will still work. That is from what I remember. So that's what I did as well. So I think I'm just gonna briefly show you like what I use. But yeah, this is the summon setup. This one is kind of useless. This one, honestly, I don't think this is even needed. Yeah, because you know we have a new sub aura slots now and shit. But yeah, I'm very certain you can kind of make do with just Kirins anyway. I don't think this Grand Order really matters, or Typhoon, to be honest. But I just use Typhoon because I don't know, I don't really want to fill it too many fucking Kirins. But yeah, that's kind of like the strat for the most part. But I kind of made do with a lot on like Tabina. And honestly, like the main reason for my case is like Kirins I used because I wanted to reset MC's limit burst. That's pretty much about it. It just allows me to consistently keep the stacks relatively low. And then Clarice is also able to delay relatively well thanks to that. So that's kind of like the thing. But yeah, my grid is, well, it is very expensive. But yeah, as you can see, I did remove Babyl as well because I noticed Babyl was giving me way too much damage. I was going through a problem where I was hitting his triggers a little bit too fast when I was doing this setup. Like, especially like, you know, I told you guys earlier where 25% has like the three stacks appeared at once. That one I need to try to go through a little bit slower, but I noticed that when I debug, because he does clear, if I recall correctly, he does clear at 50%, I think. But then it's like, when I nuke it at 25%, right? I did like so fucking high damage, especially with this group. I did like a full Olgi at that time. I did like more than 10% worth of damage or some shit. So it's like I jumped from like 25 or 27% all the way until like 14% or something. It was really, really fucking high. So I had to like give my damage quite a bit. So honestly, I think the likes of these isn't really that needed. Because I am actually using, like, if you notice, I am using both stamina and enmity. So HP wise, I mean damage wise, it's not that bad when I'm at high HP or when I'm at lower HP, because I am also using double Hades. So damage is not that bad. Plus, you know, you have 6 here. And then if you also didn't know, Relic Buster has that the first skill, which allows you to get a lot of damage, this thing. But yeah, And then like my sub skills, this one is fucking useless to be honest. I didn't really use this at all. My last skill is freaking useless. I only use this too. But at the same time, it's like because you have Clarice, you don't really need this. But at the same time, this is kind of nice because this gives a lot more barrier. So that way you can kind of like tank the autos and not reduce your HP. Because a lot of times that when I try it is that the autos can be a little bit annoying. Because I'm trying to keep my HP. The whole point of this setup is like I need to keep my HP up at a certain threshold. Just because that I did not want his stupid Chaos Legion to fucking kill me because of the stupid plane damage. Because honestly, this entire fight itself is just the stupid plane damage. But yeah, that's my grid. As you can see, yeah, that's my grid. I will just do like a commentary in a bit. So I'll switch to another screen. I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, hello. This is the so-called VOD part where I did my first clear, and probably the only clear I'm probably gonna do because I'm too lazy to redo this shit again. But before I actually go on, yeah, you could actually have like, you know, Halloween Potato or like the likes of Tico to actually get the HP back, because I don't. I have to like do this kind of shit. But anyway, let's. I'm just gonna do like a live commentary. So yeah. Anyway, he does start off doing plane damage. I think like 20 plus thousand damage, plane damage. So he does that. So for the start, it's actually very simple. Like I just do like my, because I'm not sure if you guys know how the likes of tower works. Is that your cooldowns still take in effect, but your buffs and shit still kind of stays on to your characters or whatever. So that's why I just like do all the necessary stuff to like self buff or whatever, because I'm gonna immediately switch my second team out. So I just press like the necessary ones, the one that stays on forever kind of thing. And I decided to do Tabina because Tabina does a lot. So I just buff up Tabina, and then Tabina is gonna be my main debuffer here. As you can see, I'm just gonna debuff, blah blah blah. She does a lot of damage. I'm not using the bow, as you can tell, so it's not really that bad. So bam bam bam. Albert is pretty nice as well. Originally I was using Black Knight, if anyone's wondering. I was trying out Black Knight, but I think Black Knight does overall lesser damage in comparison to Albert. Because well, Albert is nuking a whole lot more. His third skill is pretty nice as well. I decided to keep it because I don't really want to nuke it too early. Because he has one trigger at 85%, he has another trigger at 75%, and then he has another one at 50%. The 85% one is he kills off, like I think probably, he always aims at my Albert. So my guess is that he always aims at the lowest HP, you know, lowest HP pool of all of your characters, because as you can see, my Albert is my lowest HP right now, so he's always gonna get nuked. But because I have Nia, he does auto revive, so it's not too bad. So yeah, if I recall correctly, some of the stuff I do refresh, but some I don't refresh. So this one is the one where you see the damage is still pretty damn good because it is somewhat kind of debuffed already. As you can see, it's relatively good debuffs, and getting 2 nukes out of Tabina is really nice because she does a lot of damage. And then it allows her to get her arrows back up, because you need arrows to get her debuffs back up and running. So that's why. So it's already 82. Then Albert is gonna die. Bap, he's just fucking dead. And yeah, then Nia's passive revives him. So here I was thinking like that he's able to I was just like thinking like, wait, am I still gonna get the thing because he died already? But actually it's not. So yeah, this is just me explaining the damn thing, because you know, yeah, I was just like thinking, it's like, yeah, you know, he has that thing, yeah, but it's fine. Okay, I'm just gonna skip back. So this is the part I think I decided to swap back to my main team, but I think I was actually thinking like maybe I could go through a few turns, should be fine. So but then it's like, yeah, I think I'll just go through. I think I did go through another turn because I didn't want to go through 75. 75 is actually quite dangerous. So is actually just in time as well for this one. So I think that I switched back to my main, and then because, you know, this one hits really, really hard as well. It's similar as the 85 one. So what essentially happened is that, well, you have 6, right? And you have full Ogi, right? So I just let 6 tank the damn thing. Yeah, just let 6 tank the thing. And you just take 0 damage here. Well, essentially you should take 0 damage because, you know, yeah, I did refresh after all. Yeah, you don't take any damage here. Oh, another key point I wanted to mention here is that because I do not have the extra pot and shit, the main hand that I'm using on MC is actually very, very helpful. If you guys did not notice, this is Blood Gang, which is Black Knight's weapon. Blood Gang essentially gives you extra 1000 drain on every single party member whenever you Ogi. But if you have like extra healing, like apparently my Clarice does have extra healing here, so she's able to get a little bit extra out of her the drain. But yeah, the drain is actually helping me a lot because I am Ogiing almost every turn here. I'm very certain like this guy is very similar to like the actual version of the actual fight itself, the 6-man raid, where if you have like a Ogi's base setup, it should be pretty easy anyway. Yeah, if you realize, because I am using the armored from Relic Buster, technically Clarice S1 is not really needed because you already get armored and veil out of it. Clarice is mostly there just because of the delay, really, because you don't really want the Babu to Ogi that much, because every time he Ogis, he will get some stacks back, so that's really, really a bad thing. So you usually don't want that to happen. So he does another trigger. I think that's 60%. I don't remember how many triggers he have, but yeah, this team doesn't really get a lot of damage at all, because as you can tell, I am also having Garrison. I do have the likes of Jiki does help as well because all the dodge that she's providing. And then you get the especially if you have Garrison, right? Because usually you start off with like no like half HP, so it's not really that bad. You just really don't take that much damage because of Garrison. But yeah, now it's 50%. He removes all of the things, and he does trigger once as well his Chaos Legion, I think. But I totally forgot, or I did not notice that he hasn't triggered the thing yet, and I switched already. Technically I should go through with this, but yeah, I guess that doesn't really matter, because technically from what I recall, Chaos Legion doesn't really do that much. So once again, because 50 is out, trying to debuff again. Yep, got to debuff again. I'm also using Olivia. Actually, Olivia can be like another type of character if you're wondering. The main reason why I use Olivia is just like I wanted like some extra DPS and some delay as well, because you know Olivia's S2 does delay double times whenever she Ogis. And her S1 is pretty handy as well if you do not have a lot of delays. So it helps you at least to not let him trigger, so that the stacks doesn't go up that much. So this is just more like of if you do not have too much damage or whatever, if your damage is like lacking or whatever, because you know, your grid is not as stupid as mine or whatever. But yeah. It's like, oh hey, this the thing triggered. Okay, so you see, it's not that painful because I am still relatively healthy. I didn't really care too much about it. Yeah, I totally didn't notice that I was actually triggering 50% more from like random nukes or whatever. So I just and also another thing, like at this part I was thinking like I didn't really want to use her remaining thing. There's really no point. She is going to auto nuke anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. So it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna reduce this thing because they have a full Ogi right now. And the other good thing about having Nia is the likes of the CA reactivation. So that just because this if you want to reduce the stacks, you only need a 4 chain, right? So if you have 3 characters with 1 CA reactivation, is technically already a 4 chain. So Yeah. It's nice. That's why I'm also using Nia for that. Nia helps a lot in damage. Honestly, I just enable her field effect whenever it's possible anyway. It doesn't really matter, because he doesn't really do that much damage to me. And also having CA, because Tabina is kind of like my key character as well. Having CA reactivation to her just allows me to get her what's that? Her arrows back. She just gets like four arrows immediately, because you know she gets like, she auto casts her S1 or some shit, so she gets 2 arrows back and whenever she Ogies. But because she has CA reactivation, she casts that twice, so she gets 4 arrows back. So she'll be at 3. She'll be at 3, and then it's like at this point I kind of want to save it for later. So I'll just kind of like save. I didn't press any buttons. So I was thinking like, yeah, you know, I'm just gonna attack. Yep. So I just attack, and then I switch back to my main team here. Switch back. Oh, I delayed it. Oh, I delayed, huh? But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, switch back. So this is the part I'm trying to like prepare for the 25%. So this is the part where I was trying to make use of the 2 Kirins that I have, because it's already at 36%, and I still have 2 Kirins up. Because there are a lot of times where I tried where my Kirins were like being unutilized at all. So this is the part where I want to reduce my damage as much as possible. I didn't really want to do too much damage, so this is the part where I decided to just Kirin first, and then cast some of the whatever shit, and then I just attack and hope that I don't do too much damage. But yeah, I just decided to do that because I probably might need this for the nuke later anyway. Excuse me. Technically, you don't even need to press the Jiki's one, because honestly, I think it's just better off you save that for the Nia's one anyway. So, but yeah. Okay, this one is just me thinking what the fuck I should do. But yeah, so this is the one I try to reduce my damage as much as possible. So this one doesn't do that much damage. So the other thing I'm trying to do here is that at 25%, he's gonna do 3 stacks, and by the looks of it, I can only nuke once, alright? So I'm trying my best to have this team to go through that trigger at 10%. And I'm trying to get above 22,000 HP. Because I know he'll be at 2 stacks. So you'll see in a bit. So because he does that trigger, he does, you know, increases your adds like 2 turns cooldown or whatever. So like having a second Kirin is actually kind of nice. So he's gonna do Chaos Legion here. So this is the part where I'm going to nuke. Right? Yep, I'm going to nuke. So I just add some damage, whatever. Yeah, so this is the one I'm gonna nuke. So this does a relatively big nuke, if I recall correctly, because I have what's that, Clarice S2 up. That's why. So yeah, that's pretty high. So I'm trying to get like one turn in. I want to try at least get 1 nuke in. But at the same time, it's like I'm also afraid that I might do too much damage. But then I was just like, you know what? My HP is actually at a relatively good amount. And I did check, as you can see, I'm like 1 turn away. So after this nuke, it should be it already. I think. It should be it already. Yeah. Okay, so this is the part where I was like, oh yes, I actually managed to do it. I managed to get to this point without any of my characters dying. And all of my like, it's at 3 stacks, as you can see, because I got it down to like 2 or some shit, because he only triggers that thing, right? Yeah, so he managed to get back to 3, but this stack doesn't really matter anymore. The whole point was because I was trying to get to survive 25 to 10%, because he does that trigger at 10% again. That's why you see my HP just disappeared there, right? Okay, so at this point, it's great already. So I'm trying to do as much damage as I can, but as you can see, I don't really have a lot. So I just say fuck it, and then I'm just gonna switch. So at this point it's already good because you see like most of my skills are already back up anyway. So I'm just gonna rebuff, redebuff, and yeah, see, this is the part where I was saying this part, right? If you had Nia's like, especially because this one I'm doing a lot more damage as usual compared to some people, maybe, I don't know, because this guy has a lot of defense, right? This part, right, if you're using Nia's field effect, is a lot better because at least 3 of your characters here are able to do damage, more damage, because you'll see here that I'm able to nuke to the point that I'm only gonna kill off with these 2 characters. So here you go. So I decided to put that on. I put second skill on Tabina because you know it's actually important to have her to multi-attack. So the CA reactivation thing, I put it on the likes of Albert, just because that Albert is the only one going to Ogi there. So that's why it's very, very important. So I give him that. And yeah. So I debuff, just nuke everything, fuck it. Now's the time to just put on everything because DPS check, you cannot delay him anymore. Unless you can take that 3 stacks kind of things. Yeah. So yeah, as you can see, I am able to debuff him quite a bit. And then yeah, this technically kills off. Because double Ogi is very helpful. And bam. So yeah, as you can see, right? Especially if you're in this part where you're not nuking as much as you would assume. Having the likes of you activate Nia's field effect is a lot better for like the remaining part of this fight. Like if you're actually going like the setup that I'm going, I would definitely prefer her field effect more because they are actually autoing, and plus, you know, you have Olivia's S3 up, so she is able to do a lot of damage because all the echoes from the field effect and shit. Because this field effect is not really doing a lot besides giving you 1 stack of hype, which is kind of like whatever. So yeah, it just helps so much more because, you know, your 3 characters is going to triple attack because, you know, you, like I said, I got S2 on Tabina, and because you have guaranteed triple when you have what's that, her 3 stacks, it was her S3 stacks up. So this 3 is gonna triple attack. You're gonna do way more damage because the field effect gives you aggro and stuff, just to you know, allow you to do more damage if you're afraid that the last 10% is a little bit too much for you and stuff. But yeah, this is kind of like one of the annoying ways to do it, to be honest. If you have like Grand Keg and shit, like I said earlier in the beginning of the video, you could just do that and it'll be a lot easier, trust me. But yeah, I was thinking like, I have a very nice dark setup, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it with dark, because there are probably people out there are using like flexing their Gold Moon weapons and shit, doing like, I don't know, the Earth Lobelia strat or whatever with Hercules, you know, doing those kind of stuff and like get some easy kills or whatever. But hey, you know what, to me that's not fun, right? I didn't really want to do that, so I was like, hey, I got this, I have some characters, I haven't really been playing Tabina a lot besides Chef Alice or whatever. So now's a good time to actually use her. I really like her character a lot, so I wanted to enjoy using her more. Plus, I haven't really been using Olivia as well, so I was thinking, yeah, you know what, let's fucking use her, you know. She's pretty alright, you know. But yeah, anyways, so even though, as you can see, my Albert died, and technically my Nia did get her you know, she revived herself because her stacks went out. But as you can see, it does actually work. As long as every single character of yours are alive, it's fine. So it's like if you have Europa or whatever, that will work. Because they just revive as long as all of your characters are still alive by the end of the fight. Like, even though they died once or multiple times, but as long as they're alive by the end of it, that apparently it considered as losing no allies. Because, you know, it kind of gives you like a really weird what's that, a really weird wording, right? The wording is a little bit weird, isn't it? Because it just says losing no allies. At the same time, you can kind of mean like none of the characters must die, right? they must not die. They must stay alive the entire time, kind of thing. But yeah, it's not bad as long as your characters are alive, despite already being dead, but they got auto revive, whatever. That works. But yeah. Anyway, that's kind of like my my 48-1 stage thing. This is kind of like my commentary on it. It's a very annoying fight, I would say. I didn't really like it too much because, to me, I mean, it's kind of cheap, right? You know, all of a sudden it's like you're able to reduce all those stacks, and all of a sudden he does like 3 stacks and shit, like over and over. It's just so fucking dumb. It's very annoying, but yeah, honestly, it's like end of the day, it's just down to character checks. If you have the characters and you have decent green, I'm very certain you can get through this. But yeah, anyway, that's all for me from me today. I haven't really been uploading a lot, but like I said, if you really want to see me more often, just head over to my Twitch channel, because I'm mostly online every day unless shit happens. But usually when shit happens, I'll mention it on my Twitter, so there you go. But as always, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys find this helpful in any way, shape, or form. I will see you guys on the next one or on stream. Bye-bye.